All right, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Chris, of course, and you know the deal. This is Barn on 11970. And as always, I want to take the time to thank you for taking your time to listen to what I have to say. And as usual, while I'm waiting for people to join in to hear what I want to say, I just want to let people know that if you follow me on Google Plus, if you don't have a Google Plus account, you won't be able to do the question and answer. So please make yourself a Google Plus account and follow me on Google Plus, so this way you could see it. And once you go to my Google Plus account, just click on the live feed that you see, and you can ask any questions or make any statements you want. So I always encourage that. And what we're going to talk about today is the minimum wage. Now, I understand that people want this to happen, but when you listen to politicians, they're only going to tell you the good parts of something. And that's why I made the analogy of you could take a pile of dog poop and you could put caramel and sugar and chocolate and flour and salt and all these things that could hide the fact of what it really is. You're still eating a poop burger, and you don't want to do that. So let's go over what the minimum wage will do. Now keep in mind, minimum wage jobs are basically entry-level positions. They are not the job that a family of four who owns a house and two vehicles is going to use as their source of income. And if they are, they're going to be in a lot more trouble. So you notice minimum wage jobs are people like, for example, that may work for a car wash. They may work for Walmart or fast food restaurants. Things where they're entry-level, you don't need a master's degree to get these jobs. That's why they tend to hire a lot of younger people that are just starting their career, maybe just out of high school or maybe still in high school. So in other words, you don't need a master's degree to do these jobs. Raising the minimum wage, and I said this in the other video, but because it was long, some people may not have seen the whole thing. When you raise the minimum wage, and again, especially the Democratic National Convention, they're going to tell you about how they want to raise it to $15 an hour. Now, you notice this little kind of humor where they show 2 out of 3 people love the minimum wage, because you see one person got fired because the other 2 got wages. Now, you can't not think just from one side. I've always said divide and conquer is always about thinking about just one side and not all sides. That's why I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a libertarian, I'm not an anarchist, I'm not anything. I'm a little bit of everything to see what can fit best. You should never pigeonhole yourself into one ideal, because then you're going to miss out. So you cannot look at things from only one perspective. How can you draw a truthful conclusion if you're just going to go with things that sound good to your own agenda? So let's take over the facts. Let's look at it from a business perspective. If you are a owner of, let's just say, Walmart, and you're hiring a lot of entry-level positions, because again, you don't need a master's degree to work a register. You don't need a master's degree to stock shelves. So you're not going to have somebody that goes to 8 years of medical school, at least I hope not, and end up stocking shelves at Walmart. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad job. I'm just saying that there are a lot more people that can stack shelves at Walmart than they can doing open heart surgery. So a person that works for open heart surgery never cares about the minimum wage, because what they do requires more of a higher pay. So this isn't going to affect people that work at jobs that don't have minimum wages. Law firms are not going to have this problem. High-class accountant firms, you get the idea. This is going to be for entry-level positions where it's a starter. So when you raise, let's say they raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour, $20 an hour, it doesn't really matter. The first thing that's going to happen is you will notice they take more taxes out of your paycheck, because the more money you make, the more they will take from you. So they're stealing a lot of what they're raising from you right back again. So you're going to have higher taxes. That's what happens when you get your paycheck. You're going to have the loss of jobs, because businesses are going to cut down to try and save costs, which means those 2 workers that are very happy about their raise is now going to have to cover the work for the 3rd person that got fired from those raises. So yes, you will make a little bit more money, but you will have to do a lot more work, because there will be less employees because they have to absorb as much cost as they can without transferring it to the consumer. And speaking of which, that's exactly what businesses are going to do. So these two smiling people that are happy they got their raise, if all of a sudden the minimum wage happens throughout the country, now all these entry-level positions are going to have less employees, which means the employees that still have their jobs are going to work twice as hard. So you're going to realize how much you're going to complain about all the extra work that you now have to do. And you're going to find that all of the items that you purchase are going to be higher. So all of that extra money you think you're getting is going to be taken right away from you. Also keep in mind that that would allow the government to create more money or more currency. And we all know, or at least I hope you know, that when you put currency into circulation, it devalues the dollar, the whole supply and demand. So they're going to love this because the governments are going to get more tax revenue. The businesses are going to have less employees. So you're going to have to work twice as hard to make up for the amount of people that have to be let go. The prices of the things that you purchase are going to rise. And there's going to be more money being borrowed from the Federal Reserve, which makes them billions. So while you make an extra, $50 a week, $75 a week, maybe $100 a week, the governments are making billions of dollars off of all the taxes they will get and all the money they create, because when they create this currency, and I keep calling it money, old habits die hard, they lend it out to the people. So when things become more and more expensive, a lot of people use their credit cards, a lot of people get bank loans, which they charge interest. So I can understand how they will sugarcoat things and make you wave your flags and say it's a great idea. But I'm trying to point out what the reality of things like this are going to be. The proper solution is when I was a kid, I worked at local delis. I worked at McDonald's when I was a teenager. But I strove for something better. I went to massage school to learn how to become a massage therapist. And then later on, I didn't even have to go to school to become a DJ. I just worked with other DJs and then became my own karaoke DJ, had my own business. I don't have to worry about the minimum wage because I don't work for an entry-level position. So if you are in your 30s and 40s and you are working at a minimum wage job, how are you going to support a family of four? How are you going to support yourself? It's not easy when you're even trying to do it on your own. But this is the reality of what no government or no politician is going to want to tell you. And right now I have 4 people that are listening, which shows that the average person just doesn't want to hear. And it's so funny. Every time I say how many people, 1 person leaves. It's so funny. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. It's like Thunderdome. So yes, these are not popular because it's not what people want to hear. People want to listen to their politicians and they'll say all the wonderful things that'll make them smile, make them feel good. Yep, raise that minimum wage. Be careful what you wish for, you're going to get it. So if you work at McDonald's or Walmart or some entry-level position where you're doing most of the time a lot of labor, be prepared to be doing a lot more of it for a couple more dollars, which is what it'll be after they take the taxes away, and be prepared for prices to go up, because companies, they don't just say, oh, well, I'm just going to take that extra amount of money and I'm just going to absorb it and let the people still have the same product. No, you're either going to have higher prices or they're going to make the products even smaller. Go look at a box of cereal and look at how tiny those boxes are now. Anyway, there's not much more I could say about this. Obviously, people don't want to pay attention, so I'm just going to speak my mind, and I'll have my troll account that makes 15 fake accounts say the same thing over and over again, and I could just block them and delete them. But if you want to know the truth about what's going on, pay attention to the whole thing, not what they just cheerlead you on. So unfortunately, as usual, I want to thank the 4 people that are listening, because you obviously care. The rest, not much I can do about it. So have a great day, everybody, and be careful what you wish for, because you're going to get it and you're not going to like it.